Let's walk on the wise path.
A wise person once mentioned that building a reputation could take 2 decades, yet it only takes 5 minutes to shatter it. Imagine if I were to say that trust is the adhesive that keeps relationships intact, whether with friends, partners, family, or even new acquaintances. Trust is crucial and plays a significant role. In today's discussion, we're going to delve into the realm of interpersonal connections and highlight 9 types of people where placing your trust might be risky. My aim isn't to complicate matters, but to simplify them by examining these individuals' actions and words, thereby gaining a clear understanding of their true nature. This is vital because trust is a valuable asset, and we must be judicious about where we place it. I will guide you through each personality type, explaining why it might be prudent to be cautious about giving them your full trust. Exhibiting certain behaviors should alert us and prompt a reevaluation of whether we want such a person in our circle of trust. And when I speak of withholding respect, it's not about being disrespectful or unkind, as that's not the Stoic way. Rather, it's about recognizing the right time to distance oneself from those whose questionable actions may not align with our well-being or could potentially harm our lives. Let's explore the subtleties of trust together and understand when it's wise to maintain a prudent distance. 1. The master manipulator. This individual, armed with charisma and cunning, navigates the social sphere with a Machiavellian grace, turning every interaction into a calculated move on their chessboard of influence. But what makes the master manipulator not just formidable, but also unworthy of your trust and respect? The psychology behind manipulation. At the core of the master manipulator's playbook is an understanding of human psychology that they exploit to their advantage. They are adept at reading emotions, identifying vulnerabilities, and crafting scenarios that position them as the puppeteer of people's actions and reactions. This psychological warfare is not waged with brute force, but with subtlety and precision, making it all the more dangerous. Tactics of the trade. The manipulator's arsenal is diverse, ranging from flattery and charm to guilt-tripping and gaslighting. They might shower you with compliments and attention, only to use your gratitude as leverage later on. Or they might sow seeds of doubt about your perceptions and memories, undermining your confidence and making you more pliable to their will. But perhaps the most insidious tactic is their ability to morph into whatever persona serves their current agenda. Today, they're your confidant, empathizing with your every worry. Tomorrow, they're the impartial advisor, coldly dissecting your choices. Their true self remains elusive, always hidden behind a mask that suits their immediate needs. The impact on relationships. The wake left by the master manipulator is one of confusion, self-doubt, and often broken relationships. Trust, once shattered by manipulation, is difficult to rebuild. Victims may find themselves questioning not just the manipulator's sincerity, but their own judgment for having fallen prey to the deception. The damage extends beyond the immediate relationship, affecting the victim's ability to trust others and themselves. A Stoic approach to dealing with manipulation. So, how does one navigate the treacherous waters the master manipulator inhabits? Stoicism, with its emphasis on virtue, wisdom, and emotional resilience, offers a beacon of hope. First and foremost, it teaches us to focus on what is within our control, our perceptions, decisions, and actions. We cannot control the manipulator, but we can control how we respond to their machinations. Vigilance is key. Be aware of the signs of manipulation, excessive flattery, inconsistencies in words and actions, and feelings of being pushed or rushed into decisions. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it likely is. Setting and enforcing boundaries is another Stoic strategy. Define what behaviors you will not tolerate and communicate these limits clearly. When boundaries are crossed, be prepared to take action, whether that means confronting the manipulator or distancing yourself from them. Finally, cultivate self-sufficiency. The less you depend on the approval and validation of others, the less power a manipulator has over you. Stoicism teaches us to find contentment within, through our own virtues and the pursuit of wisdom, rather than in the fickle and often deceptive approval of others. 2. The gossip guru. Gossip, in its most benign form, is a way for humans to bond and communicate social norms. However, the gossip guru takes this natural human inclination to a destructive extreme. They find joy in the misfortune of others, using their knowledge to weave intricate stories that captivate, divide, and conquer, the mechanisms of malice. The gossip guru operates on several levels. First, there's the selection of their tales. They have a knack for finding the most sensitive, damaging, or controversial bits of information, often exaggerating or distorting the truth for added effect. Then, there's the delivery. They know their audience, tailoring each story to fit the listener's interests, biases, or fears, ensuring maximum impact and spread. The fallout from their tales is multifaceted. Relationships are strained or broken, trust is eroded, and the social fabric of groups or communities is weakened. The gossip guru, meanwhile, often remains above the fray, watching the chaos unfold with a sense of detachment and superiority. The Stoics' shield against gossip. How does one protect oneself from such a character, especially when armed with nothing but one's own integrity and the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance? The answer lies in both prevention and response. Prevention. The best way to deal with gossip is to starve it of its power. This means not participating in the spread of rumors, not lending an eager ear to salacious tales, and not judging others based on hearsay. Remember, gossip thrives in the fertile soil of our own curiosity and judgment. By refusing to be a conduit for gossip, you undermine its power. Response. When confronted with gossip, whether about yourself or others, the Stoic response is to seek the truth, to respond with equanimity, and to focus on what is within your control. If the gossip is false, let your actions and character speak for themselves. If there's a kernel of truth, use it as an opportunity for self-examination and improvement. Above all, remember that the opinions of others, especially those rooted in falsehoods or the misfortunes of others, are not within your control and thus not worth your distress. Marcus Aurelius reminded us to be indifferent to what makes no difference. Gossip, in the grand scheme of your life and virtues, makes no difference. Cultivating a garden beyond gossip. The gossip guru, for all their seeming influence, operates in a realm of shadows and illusions. Their power is ephemeral, lasting only as long as we grant it attention. By focusing on building genuine, transparent, and supportive relationships, we create a community where gossip finds no purchase. In your interactions, strive to be a beacon of positivity and truth. Encourage open communication, share your thoughts and feelings honestly, and listen with empathy and understanding. In doing so, you not only protect yourself from the gossip guru, but also contribute to a healthier, more vibrant social ecosystem. 3. Mr. or Ms. Popularity. At first glance, Mr. or Ms. Popularity appears to be the epitome of social success, always surrounded by people, constantly engaged in conversations, and seemingly beloved by all. However, beneath this veneer of universal adoration lies a complex web of superficial connections. Their interactions are often strategic, designed to maintain and enhance their social status rather than forge meaningful relationships. The superficial smile. One of the hallmarks of Mr. or Ms. Popularity is their seemingly inexhaustible friendliness. Yet, this friendliness is often not rooted in genuine interest or affection, but in the desire to be liked and admired by as many people as possible. They are chameleons, adapting their personalities and opinions to fit the crowd they're with at the moment, which makes it difficult to know who they truly are. Their approach to friendship is quantity over quality. While they may have an extensive network, their connections are often shallow, lacking the depth and resilience of more intimate relationships. This approach can leave both parties feeling unfulfilled, as the basis of their connection is not mutual respect and understanding, but rather mutual benefit and convenience. The Stoic response to popularity. How, then, should one approach relationships with Mr. or Ms? Popularity through a Stoic lens? The key lies in understanding the value of authenticity and depth in human connections. Seek authentic connections. Stoicism teaches us to value substance over appearance, quality over quantity, instead of striving to be part of Mr. or Ms. Popularity's extensive circle focus on cultivating fewer, more meaningful relationships based on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine affection. These are the connections that will provide support and enrichment throughout life's challenges. Understand the limits of control. Remember, we cannot control the actions or feelings of others, only our reactions to them. If Mr. or Ms. Popularity's attention wanes, or if their friendship proves to be superficial, recognize this as outside your control. What you can control is your investment in relationships that offer genuine mutual respect and growth. Cultivate self-reliance. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of being self-sufficient, finding contentment within oneself, rather than seeking validation from others. By developing your interests, virtues, and inner life, you become less dependent on the fleeting approval of the popular crowd and more anchored in your own values and self-worth. Building deeper connections. In a world that often prizes popularity and external validation, the Stoic pursuit of authenticity and self-reliance offers a refreshing counterpoint. It reminds us that true fulfillment in relationships comes not from the number of people who know our name, but from the depth and quality of our connections. When interacting with Mr. or Ms. Popularity, appreciate the moments of genuine connection if they arise, but be mindful of the potential for superficiality. Invest your time and energy in relationships that are built on a foundation of mutual respect, understanding, and true affection. These are the connections that will stand the test of time, offering real support and enrichment. 4. The pretender. The facade of listening. The pretender is someone who appears to be with you in conversation, but is far away in thought. They nod, they smile, and they might even interject with a generic that's interesting, yet their eyes often betray a distant mind. Whether it's the distraction of a buzzing phone or the wandering of thoughts to other matters, their pretense of engagement is thinly veiled. This lack of true engagement is not just a social fox pass, it's a barrier to genuine connection. Conversations with the pretender leave one feeling undervalued and questioning the integrity of the interaction. It's akin to speaking into the void, where your words are heard but not truly listened to. The Stoic approach to superficial engagement. In the face of such superficial engagement, Stoicism offers guidance that can help us navigate these interactions with grace and understanding. Value of genuine interaction. Stoicism teaches us the importance of living authentically, which extends to our conversations. Engage with others in a manner that you would like to be engaged with. This means listening actively, responding thoughtfully, and being fully present. In doing so, you set a standard for the quality of communication you expect in return. Acceptance of others. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to accept the fact that others can be mistaken about what's good and bad, and that we cannot control their perceptions, but can control our reactions to them. When faced with the pretender, rather than feeling frustration or disappointment, we can choose to accept their current state of engagement and either gently guide the conversation to a close or attempt to spark a genuine interest. Seeking depth within. The pretender's lack of depth in conversation can be a mirror reflecting our own fears of opening up or engaging deeply. Use these interactions as a cue to examine your own approach to conversations. Are you presenting your authentic self? Are you inviting depth through your questions and contributions? Sometimes, leading by example can inspire change in others. Beyond the surface, fostering deeper connections. To transcend the superficial level of engagement embodied by the pretender, we must be willing to take the first step into deeper waters. This involves asking open-ended questions that invite elaboration, sharing personal insights that go beyond surface level, and creating a space where vulnerability is welcomed and reciprocated. It's important to recognize that not everyone is comfortable diving into depth, and that's okay. The Stoic principle of working within what is in our control applies here. We can offer the invitation to deeper engagement, but we cannot force someone to accept it. What we can do is continue to cultivate our capacity for meaningful interaction, becoming beacons of genuine connection in a world that often celebrates the superficial. 5. The empathy evasive. The hallmarks of empathy evasion. The empathy evasive moves through social interactions with a certain coldness, a detachment from the emotional currents that flow between people. They might dismiss others' feelings as irrelevant or overreactions, or they might simply fail to acknowledge these feelings at all. This lack of empathy isn't just an emotional shortfall, it's a barrier to forming meaningful, supportive relationships. Their interactions often leave a trail of confusion and hurt, as they are unable to offer the emotional support or understanding that friends, family members, and colleagues seek. Engaging with the empathy evasive can be akin to speaking a language they don't understand. The emotional cues and expressions that typically navigate social interactions are lost on them. Stoicism and the absence of empathy. How does one approach relationships with the empathy evasive through a Stoic lens? Stoicism, with its focus on virtue, reason, and personal responsibility, offers a path forward. Cultivating internal empathy. Stoicism teaches us that virtues are developed from within and are not dependent on others' actions or reactions. In dealing with the empathy evasive, we can focus on cultivating our empathy, understanding that our ability to empathize does not diminish because of their lack of response. We can strive to be understanding, even when that understanding is not reciprocated. Acceptance and emotional resilience. A central tenet of Stoicism is accepting things we cannot change. We cannot force the empathy evasive to feel empathy, but we can control how we respond to their lack of it. This involves developing emotional resilience, recognizing that our worth and our feelings are valid, even if they are not acknowledged by the other person. Setting boundaries. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic philosophers emphasized the importance of living in accordance with nature and reason. When dealing with someone who lacks empathy, it's reasonable to set boundaries to protect our emotional well-being. This doesn't mean we act with malice or disregard. Rather, we acknowledge our need for supportive, understanding relationships and seek them out. Fostering understanding in a Stoic manner. While the empathy evasive may struggle to offer emotional support, it's important to remember that everyone has their limitations and challenges. From a Stoic perspective, we can strive to understand these limitations without judgment, offering compassion even when it's not returned in kind. However, understanding does not mean accepting harmful behavior. We can and should seek out relationships that are nurturing and supportive, while offering kindness and empathy to all, including the empathy evasive. In doing so, we embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, creating a balanced approach to our social interactions. 6. The irritation instigator. The irritation instigator operates through subtle cues and comments, designed to unsettle or provoke. They might make offhand remarks that seem innocuous on the surface, but are laced with criticism or contempt. They could also challenge your opinions in ways that feel dismissive or belittling, not for the sake of genuine debate, but to undermine your confidence. This behavior can be especially trying because it often flies under the radar, making it difficult to address directly without seeming overly sensitive. The challenge here is not just in dealing with the irritation, but in recognizing and responding to it in a way that maintains your integrity and inner peace. The Stoic response to provocation. Facing the irritation instigator, Stoicism offers a framework for understanding and action that can help us navigate these troubled waters with equanimity, reflection, and response. When provoked, our first impulse might be to react defensively or retaliate. However, Stoicism teaches us the value of pausing to reflect before responding. This moment of pause allows us to consider the most virtuous course of action, one that aligns with our principles rather than our impulses. Understanding intentions. Marcus Aurelius advised us to consider the intentions of others, recognizing that their actions often stem from their own perceptions and judgments, which they believe to be correct. While this doesn't excuse hurtful behavior, understanding that the irritation instigator's provocations may stem from their own insecurities or misunderstandings can help us respond with compassion rather than anger. Choosing our battles. Not every provocation requires a response. Stoicism encourages us to discern which battles are worth fighting and which are better left alone. Sometimes, the most powerful response to provocation is to simply let it go, conserving our energy for more constructive endeavors. Maintaining inner peace. Above all, Stoicism teaches us to maintain our inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. This means not allowing the irritation instigator's behavior to disturb our tranquility. We can acknowledge the irritation without letting it define our emotional state or dictate our actions. Fostering a climate of respect. In dealing with the irritation instigator, it's also worth considering how we can foster an environment of respect and understanding, one that discourages such provocations. This involves setting clear boundaries about acceptable behavior and communicating openly and honestly when those boundaries are crossed. Additionally, by modeling the behavior we wish to see, treating others with respect, listening actively, and engaging in constructive dialogue, we can create a more positive, supportive environment that leaves little room for irritation and provocation. 7. The perpetual victim. The perpetual victim lives in a narrative of constant misfortune, where life's challenges are not just hurdles to overcome, but insurmountable barriers designed specifically to thwart them. They often express a sense of helplessness, attributing their difficulties to factors beyond their control without recognizing their role in their circumstances or considering how they might affect change. This mindset not only stifles personal growth, but can also drain the energy and patience of those around them. Engaging with the perpetual victim often means navigating a minefield of complaints, excuses, and negativism, where attempts to offer solutions or perspectives are met with resistance or dismissal. The Stoic approach to victimhood. In dealing with the perpetual victim, Stoicism provides valuable insights into maintaining our equilibrium and fostering a healthier dynamic. Focus on what we can control. Stoicism teaches us to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. While we cannot control the perpetual victim's perception of their circumstances, we can control our response to it. This means choosing to engage in a supportive yet boundary-respecting manner, encouraging solutions without becoming entangled in the narrative of helplessness. Encouraging responsibility. One of the core principles of Stoicism is taking responsibility for our actions and their outcomes. When interacting with the perpetual victim, we can gently encourage them to see where they might have agency, suggesting ways they could take more active roles in addressing their challenges. This approach must be undertaken with sensitivity, as it can easily be perceived as dismissive of their feelings if not handled with care. Preserving our peace. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that our tranquility is not determined by external events, but by our internal stance towards those events. In maintaining relationships with perpetual victims, it's crucial to safeguard our own peace, ensuring that our desire to help does not lead to our being dragged into a quagmire of negativity. Setting boundaries. Establishing clear boundaries is essential in any healthy relationship, but it becomes particularly important when dealing with individuals who constantly perceive themselves as victims. Boundaries help define the extent of our willingness to engage with the victim narrative, allowing us to offer support without enabling or validating unproductive attitudes. Cultivating growth and self-efficacy. While it's important to show empathy and understanding towards the perpetual victim, it's equally important to encourage a mindset of growth and self-efficacy. This involves highlighting their strengths, celebrating their successes, however small, and reinforcing the idea that they have the power to change their circumstances through their actions and attitudes. 8. The two-faced admirer. The two-faced admirer is a master of disguise, adept at playing the role of a friend while secretly undermining those they pretend to support. This duplicity can be particularly damaging, as it not only breeds mistrust, but can also lead to the erosion of one's social standing and self-esteem. The challenge lies in recognizing these individuals for who they are, despite the appealing veneer they present. Stoic wisdom on dealing with deception. In facing the two-faced admirer, Stoicism offers guidance on maintaining our integrity and emotional equilibrium. The virtue of authenticity. Stoicism places a high value on living authentically, acting with integrity, and being true to one's principles. In dealing with the two-faced admirer, we are reminded of the importance of embodying these virtues ourselves, regardless of the deceit we may encounter in others. By focusing on our own authenticity, we protect our inner peace from the turmoil of duplicity. Discernment and trust. Seneca and other Stoic philosophers emphasized the importance of choosing our friends wisely, suggesting that we should invest our trust in those who demonstrate virtue and good character. The presence of a two-faced admirer in our lives serves as a reminder to be discerning in whom we trust, looking beyond superficial charm to the consistency of their actions and words over time. Responding with equanimity. When confronted with the reality of a two-faced admirer, it's natural to feel betrayed and angry. However, Stoicism teaches us to respond with equanimity, recognizing that we cannot control the actions of others, only our reactions. This doesn't mean we passively accept deceit. Rather, we choose to respond in a way that upholds our dignity and aligns with our values, possibly by distancing ourselves from the source of deceit. Forgiveness and compassion. Marcus Aurelius advocated for responding to wrongs with forgiveness and understanding, recognizing that those who deceive are often driven by their own insecurities and failings. While forgiveness does not necessitate allowing the behavior to continue unchecked, it frees us from the burden of resentment, allowing us to move forward with clarity and strength. Nurturing genuine connections. In the shadow of the two-faced admirer, we find an opportunity to reflect on the nature of genuine connections and the value of transparency and honesty in our relationships. By choosing to surround ourselves with individuals who share these values, we create a foundation for relationships that are not only trustworthy, but also enriching and supportive. 9. The toxic tornado. The toxic individual thrives in creating discord and discomfort around them. Whether through constant criticism, manipulation, or spreading negativity, their presence can feel like a dark cloud, making it challenging to maintain one's sense of well-being and positivity. The key challenge here is not just to protect oneself from their harmful influence, but also to understand the reasons behind such behavior without falling into the trap of excusing it. Stoic guidance on dealing with toxicity. Facing the toxic individual, Stoicism offers profound wisdom to help us navigate these treacherous waters with grace and fortitude. Maintaining inner fortitude. Central to Stoic philosophy is the concept of maintaining control over one's own mind and emotions, regardless of external circumstances. In the face of toxicity, this means focusing on our internal responses and choosing not to let another's negativity dictate our emotional state. It is our perceptions and judgments that give events their power over us. By changing these, we can remain unaffected by external negativity. Understanding without absorbing. Marcus Aurelius advises us to understand the nature of our fellow humans, recognizing that their actions are often a reflection of their internal struggles. While we strive to understand the root of the toxic individual's behavior, it is crucial to do so without absorbing their negativity. This understanding can foster compassion, but should not come at the expense of our well-being. Setting boundaries. A Stoic approach to relationships involves recognizing what is within our power. Setting and enforcing healthy boundaries is essential when dealing with toxic individuals. This may involve limiting contact, expressing our needs and limits clearly, or, in some cases, severing ties altogether. Boundaries are not an act of hostility, but a declaration of self-respect and an essential step in preserving our peace. Seeking virtue in relationships. The Stoics teach us to seek out and cultivate relationships based on mutual respect, virtue, and growth. In the context of dealing with toxic individuals, this means gravitating towards and nurturing connections that uplift and support rather than diminish our well-being. It's about choosing to spend our time and energy on relationships that reflect our values and aspirations. Fostering a positive environment. In the shadow of the toxic individual, we find a powerful opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to creating and maintaining a positive, nurturing environment for ourselves and those around us. This involves not only distancing ourselves from sources of negativity, but also actively contributing to a culture of kindness, understanding, and mutual support. In closing, navigating the complex world of human relationships isn't easy, but with a dash of Stoic wisdom and a healthy dose of self-respect, it's entirely possible to cultivate a life filled with meaningful connections. Remember, it's not about isolating yourself, but about choosing wisely who you let into your inner sanctum. So, as you journey through life's forest, keep these lessons close to your heart. They'll serve as your compass, guiding you towards people and experiences that truly enrich your life. And there we have it, folks. I hope this trek has been as enlightening for you as it has been for me. If you've encountered any of these characters, or if you have another type to add to our list, drop a comment below. Your insights are what make this community a treasure trove of wisdom. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more Stoic adventures. Until next time, stay strong, stay calm, and stay Stoic.